This is Murgatroyd television station CRZY, bringing you the latest in news, weather, and excellent programming in the greater Murgatroyd Flagtown area.
Thank you for joining us on Murgatroyd Retro Radio. The audio file you are about to hear survived the Great Murgatroyd Fire, which destroyed most of Murgatroyd a few years back. Fortunately, our great city has rebuilt since that time. This audio was an evening broadcast at CRZY in which a local psychoanalyst, Dr. Rennick, gave his assessment of Senator Quint. This recording is from 2011, a few years before the assassination of Senator Quint.
This just in. We have Dr. Rennick's psychoanalysis of Senator Anderson Quint. That he is an absolute megalomaniac is blatantly obvious. There is an egocentric obsession with power and a narcissistic self-preoccupation. Completely obsessed with his own good looks, position of power, and his charismatic hold over the public, Senator Anderson Quint is also an insufferable womanizer. His view of women is that they are sexual objects to be had as frequently and nonchalantly as ice cream bars. His own ego and self-image are in fact enhanced whenever he scores. Within his office toward his underlings, he is a merciless, brutal tyrant. Mistakes even of the slightest nature are met with severe and disproportionate reprimands. To say that he is caught up in his own self-delusion would be far too generous an appraisal. His obsession with Judy Vincini probably has as much to do with her cosmetic empire and inherited fortune as it has to do with love, a concept with which Quint has little if any acquaintance. His repeated re-elections testify to the gullibility not only of a shallow and fickle public, but also to Quint's own ability to mesmerize the unsuspecting mass, which he secretly disdains, as mere chattel to be whipped to and fro by his constantly changing political postures that are as empty as his speeches. Some of our analysts have just brought me a speech of Senator Quint's from last March. This will give you an example of what we were talking about a moment earlier. It is quite possible that the highly probable renovation of the dilapidated Tin Can Alley vicinity can be effectively expedited with all due speed. It is not unreasonable to expect the projected fiscal expenditures of the outer city loop redevelopment to be well within the parameters originally outlined and proposed in our previous administration. It is not entirely impossible that the likes of a rabble-rouser like Imogen Slakowski will further attempt to distract the public from the real serious matters at hand and cause them to have unnecessary doubts and unfounded misgivings with her treacherous articles. She and a group of radical feminists are attempting to subvert and undermine the public confidence in this administration, and by golly, I think it's high time she were hoisted on her own petard and exposed as the caustic naysayer she really is. She throws around empty phrases like, honestly now. Well, stop and think about it. Honestly now, isn't it time that somebody took her to task for her preposterous and outlandish remarks and unfounded allegations? Again, I want to thank all of you for your dedication and your absolute unwavering loyalty. For without all of you, I couldn't be standing here defending myself against the unwarranted and venomous diatribes Imogen Slakowski leveled against me in her pompous onslaught of sheer theatrics. Now let's go to the polls and show her who's really boss. Let's show what honestly is happening now. I want all of you to flood Imogen with Mel, letting her know how tired and disgusted you are with her whining, empty, rhetorical gobbledygook.
right then, Uncle Frank. I think we're done here. Stano, cuff him and read him his right.
Okay then, Uncle Frank, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand the rights I have just read to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me?
My father's very, very rich. He gets you out. He gets you out. He pay your mom. He pay your bill. He pay your mom. I call daddy. He gets you out. I call father. He gets you out. Father. You get Uncle Frank out. You get Uncle Frank out. He arrested. They arrest him. You come get him out. Come get him out.
Uncle Frank of Flattown was arrested today for the assault of Blatson the artist at the Murgatroyd Metro Museum. Uncle Frank is also the prime suspect in the shooting of an as-yet unidentified victim. The body has not yet been located.
YZRC presents an exclusive interview with President Quint. And here is the president now.
ZRC is bringing you an exclusive interview with President Quint, who is, as you know, our leader, our president, and he's leading our universe against the opposing universe. So, President Quint, tell us, how is the war with the other universe proceeding?
Beautifully and without a hitch. Well, King Pedestrian is no match whatsoever for my vampiric forces. I mean, it's second to none. Genocide is playtime for us. It's absolutely nothing. Our mistake, however, has been to essentially wage a defensive war here in our own universe, while King Pedestrian's forces have been invading. They have been invading. They're trying their best. But what we have to do now is launch a precise and full counteroffensive. We must strike at the heart of the other universe in massive invasion forces. I mean, we must absolutely devastate and decimate the entirety. Must entirely eradicate every being in the other universe. Every creature able to move, we must eradicate their ability to do so.
Yes, sir.
We must wipe out the other universe. We must wipe the other universe out of existence. They can no longer exist. That is unacceptable to me. It insults my soul. The very thought of their presence is unsettling, and I will not have it. It is unacceptable.
Thank you, President Quint.
Uncle Frank of Flattown was arrested today for the assault of Blatson the artist at the Murgatroyd Metro Museum. Uncle Frank is also the prime suspect in the shooting of an as-yet unidentified victim. The body has not yet been located.
Uncle Frank thought he could shoot me and kill me with a shotgun and silver bullets. He never counted on this Kevlar vest to protect me. Now he's sitting rotting in jail. Goodbye, Uncle Frank. I'm gonna finish what I started.
Colleen. Drake, Colleen, this is Commander Skitters. I'm going to release you. I will delay the discovery of your, quote, escape as long as possible to allow you to return to your own universe, to regroup and replot. I understand that the human resistance over there is growing, and that there are others who would come here with you to help against King Pedestrian. He is carefully protected by many, many bodyguards. I know. I'm in charge of them. Unfortunately, I have to maintain a cover for the time being. He doesn't know I was able to disable the electrodes he implanted into my brain. You won't be able to get to King Pedestrian directly, but his consort, Imgard Ostfrager, is now pregnant. She will be vulnerable. There will be times when she will be, shall we say, less guarded than King Pedestrian. Perhaps if you can get to her, you can get to him. Again, share this with your cohorts in the other universe. Come up with a scheme. Good luck.
Welcome to the Imogene Slokowski Show. On a night's show, Imogene interviewed local legend Uncle Frank.
Our ZY listeners, pardon me, my contacts are broken half. Cannot believe they cannot get them going right. Breaking live though, alongside Murgatroyd PD, we have been gifted with a In the Clink exclusive with our very own local celebrity, singer and songwriter, Uncle Frank. So, Uncle Frank, Murgatroyd is dying to know, did you in fact actually assault the newest Blasted?
Well, Imogene, thank you for coming down here to talk to me in jail. Now, I'll be out in about an hour. You know, my wife there, Shamika, her dad owns the paper doll factory, and of course he's gonna buy me out. Well, you know, I did walk up there to the art exhibit there, Murgatroyd Metropolitan, and I walked right up to Blatson, and I told him why I was doing it, and I punched him in the face. He insulted me, he insulted my wife, he took a mistake I made in my life that cost me my wife for 40 years, and he's made it into a spectacle for the public. He's making fun of my life. He's profiting off of my misery. I'd punch him again in the face if I had the opportunity.
I support your decision there. I can't help but say it. Well, we all have to know, was this really a hate crime? An aggressive act of passion in retaliation to how you feel he should be living his life and by his sexual preferences?
Now, I don't give a hoot about his don't give a hoot about his sexual orientation and all. That's just him grabbing for dollar signs there. He knows my wife's the daughter of Fudiki Hiramoto, the Japanese business magnate that owns the paper doll factory, and he just thinking he can milk this for all it's worth. He's just after millions of dollars, all it's about. It's just about a lawsuit. There ain't no hate crime involved here. I ain't interested in his sexual orientation. I'm interested in the fact that he insulted me and my wife, and he's making fun of me. It was a personal insult. It was a personal affront. That's why I punched him in the face. There wasn't no hate to it. There ain't no hate crime going on here.
Other than the hating of his art.
I despise his art. It's the biggest pile of you've ever seen. I took the wife Aunt Suki in there a couple of years ago to look at his so-called art, and I'll tell you, I've got garbage in my backyard that looks better than anything Blatson ever came out with.
Maybe that should be what we put on the, out for display next. Maybe we'll see if Uncle Frank can break into the art world, huh?
Thank you, Imogene.
Well, Uncle Frank, I do have to go ahead and just toot your horn just a little bit here. As your fame in Murgatroyd, it stretches from way to the trots to your own backyard, back in Slippery Eel Creek.
Yeah, that creek behind my house. Out Flat Town, no.
And everywhere in between, through the trees and through the bees, you have been known throughout Murgatroyd, and you are become a beloved local celebrity. And I have to say, in hearing your appearances on shows, such as Opinion Radio.
Yeah, I like calling in Opinion Radio. Juliera up on there and stuff.
With Julietta Sidestepper.
That's right. Whatever she calls herself and all.
I love listening in, and I know that I'm not the only one. I've become a great fan, and I do have to say that on behalf of myself, I'm now a bigger fan of Uncle Frank. Thanks.
Thank you, Imogene.
Well, thank you, Uncle Frank, and we thank you, listeners at CRZY Radio, for tuning in again, and we cannot wait to talk to you again on our next interview. Stay tuned to find out who that is.